In this video, we are going to talk about one of the newest enhancements to Release 25, which is the use of widgets. A widget is a new component that appears inside of a composed page in the form of either a tile or a graphical chart. This feature, being a UDO, is directly connected to the use of an orchestration inside the Orchestrator Studio. So we're going to take a look at some of those different types of widgets that can be created with the use of this new powerful tool. As I stated, widgets use orchestrations to generate the data that populate the tiles on a composed page. So when we think about using a widget, we are thinking about generating information from some type of an orchestration that is gathering data. In this way, our orchestration is less about process automation and more about data extraction. So at a high level, we create orchestrations that will collect information. This can be achieved with a form request that calls a query, or we could use a data request to collect information as well. Or we could gather information from a third-party location, such as a website. The primary idea is that the orchestration is used to collect data that will be utilized within a widget. Then we have our widgets, which is this new component that we see here on the home page. Inside of the widget, we can make selections to configure the widget in a variety of ways. We can select the widget type, and with each type comes different selections. A badge can be utilized for watch list types of widgets. Then we can use them on the EOne side in a number of ways which we will look at. If we select meter, we can choose a number of different types here as well, and how we want them to display, including the color. Also, we see a number of charts here that we can choose from. Again, a number of options for how they are oriented on the screen. And also, we can just simply choose a text widget. After we've named our widget and selected the type of widget we're going to choose, then we would go over to the Data Source tab and we would select the orchestration to use and then choose the output from the orchestration to populate the chart or graph or whatever we've decided to use. Depending on the widget type, we select how we want to use that data. That also can include the colors used for the meters and the pie charts. Also, take note that multiple widgets can be created from a single orchestration. So if we wanted to have charts displayed in multiple ways, we can create multiple widgets. And we will see that over on the EnterpriseOne side. So let's go over there. As stated before, our widgets are put on a composed page. Specifically, we use the designer pane within the page composer. Before we open the Page Composer, let's take a look at these three items here on our watch list pane. At first glance, it appears that these are just watch lists. Again, watch lists are created within an application with the use of a query. But these do appear a little bit different in that we see this bottom one has text instead of a numeric value. If I go up to the watch list icon on the main menu bar, you will see here under the Personal section these three items that we just looked at. And if I hover over each one, you see that they are widgets instead of watch lists. So the data has been generated from an orchestration and then put in here. Now when I created my widget, I had selected a badge widget type. And for each of the various ones shown here, I could choose either a numeric or text. So that is how we see them displayed. Also back down on the page, the single widget that I had created in the Orchestrator Studio is used in three different ways here. The first being used in the watch list pane. Then also the tile that we show here is also one of our widgets. Then I could also choose that same widget as a numeric value that's attached at the side of the tile. So we can use this type of widget for the numeric values to be displayed, or also create a secondary widget as we see just below here, where we see both a numeric value and a text widget attached here to indicate what the value is displaying. So it helps us make sure that the information is much easier to understand. Down in this lower section, we see three different types of charts displaying, and these are all based off an orchestration that uses a data request. The first and third ones are two different chart types that we chose. And as we saw over in the widget setup screen, we can choose a number of different types of charts to display that data. Here in the center, we see two widgets. The top one uses a meter type of widget along with a text widget below. Both of these are being fed from an orchestration that uses a connect request that connects to a weather service to gather the temperature for the meter and down below, the forecast for the text badge. This orchestration can be used with multiple widgets and for temperature and forecasts for multiple locations, and then they could be placed on this page. So we could have Denver and Houston or whatever we needed for displaying conditions at different plants as an example. So as we look at these various widgets, they can be compared to the Jet Analytic charts that we also use inside of the Page Composer. Those charts are all pre-built and connected directly to an EOne application. Our widgets, on the other hand, are flexible with the use of the orchestrator to extract data from applications and other third-party locations, and we as designers can choose the layout that suits our business best. So that is an overview of widgets and how they might be utilized in EnterpriseOne. In the upcoming videos, we will show how to create a number of different widgets used inside of EnterpriseOne.